4th Dibuga University International Literature 2026, which has brought all of us together here today in this sad celebration of words, culture, and stories. The title of today's session is From Grassroots to the Skies. The title itself carries a powerful metaphor. It speaks of beginnings rooted in disciplines and determination, and of ambitions courageous and enough to rise beyond boundaries. It reminds us that true elevation does not happen overnight. It grows from foundation of resilience, responsibility, and vision. Today's sessions bring together three remarkable women whose journey span aviation, enterprise, literature, leadership, social impact. Each represents a different sky, yet all are deeply rooted in purpose. So let me begin by introducing our distinguished speaker of today's session. We are honored to have with us Neelu Khatri. Yes. So Neelu Khatri, a founding leader of Alaska Air aviation professional with over 30 years of experience across the Air India Force, Honeywell Aerospace, KPMG, and commercial aviation. She played a pivotal role in building Alaska Air from blueprint to execution, enabling one of the fastest airline scales up in global aviation history. A pioneer from early batches of women officers in Indian Air Force, she has been a strong champion of increasing female participation in aviation. She is a sought after speaker at global forums on aviation mobility, defense, leadership, and diversity. Beyond the world of aircraft and strategy, she is also an avid trekker, biker, and reader, embodying both altitude and balance. We heartily welcome you, ma'am, to the event. So her journey truly reflects what it means to rise with courage, competence, and conviction. With this, I would also like to call upon uh, we are equally privileged to welcome Madhu Sutodhya, a law graduate from Laureate College, Calcutta. Madhu Sutodhya lives beautifully bridges discipline, scholarships, and lived traditions. A former NCC leader, she carries forward a quiet ethic of responsibility and resilience. As a tea planter and an entrepreneur associated with Barpatahar Tea States, she remains deeply rooted in the rhythms of nature, film, family, and legacy. An avid reader, environmentalist, and homemaker, she embodies a reflective life shaped by purpose, care, and sustainability. In Assam, where tea is not just an industry but an identity, her leadership represents both heritage and growth. We heartily welcome you, ma'am, to the event. So, next, we have Koral Dasgupta as the moderator of today's event. So she is an author, TEDx speaker, and narrative strategist. She has authored 9 books, including the acclaimed Sati series, which has received nomination from prestigious awards such as the Sahitya Academy Award and Shushila Devi Award. Her book Ahalya was recommended for 2023 prize honor list of Sahitya Academy. Her works are housed in the libraries of global universities, including Harvard, Columbia, Wales, and Chicago. She is also the founder of Tell Me Your Story Biz, a platform that leverages literature to spark social dialogue and behavioral change for gender liberation. Recognized among the Innovators 25 Asia Pacific in 2019 and featured in Outlook Business Women of Wonder series. She brings depth, inquiry, and perspective to every conservation she moderates. We are delighted to have you, ma'am, today. So today's conversation will explore building from the grassroots, leading a traditionally male dominated space, breaking glass ceilings, balancing ambition with responsibility, and redefining leadership through resilience and reflections. From tea states to aircraft hangars, from discipline service to entrepreneurial courageous. This session reminds us that true growth requires both root and wings. At this point, I'd like to hand over the stage to our respected moderator and our distinguished speaker to continue their thought provoking session. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, Diprugar. Thank you so much all of you for considering me worth this chair. And very excited to be in conversation with Neeluji, Madhuji, and this entire session, leading this entire session on leadership, entrepreneurship, and life as a whole. I understand that a lot of you are students who are listening to this conversation, and the purpose of this particular session is to give you a glimpse of what happens when you are on your own, creating a business, sustaining a business, and at the same time, you are responsible for everything that happens to it. Basically, a baby not necessarily moving with hands and limbs, but making its presence felt anyway. So I'm sitting with two very erudite business personalities, three actually. And would you just introduce yourself? Because uh, uh, please do.
A very good afternoon to all present here. I'm my mother, and I've learned from her. I've
Your
been a
name.
fourth generation tea planter. I'm Pooja Sutodya, and being a fourth generation tea planter, growing up in the tea plantations, from understanding the very essence of nature, led me to found a company called, and we are growing with specialty teas taking to the world, and hopefully we take you through single estate teas and the best of the teas in the world. Thank you.
So Pooja ji is leading a lot of her tea estate growth of late, and it has been very graceful of her to uh, take my request very sincerely and join the session because Madhuji needs some assistance in the conversations that we hold ahead because a lot of things that Madhuji used to handle earlier is now being handled by Pooja. Is that fine with you?
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
So, to begin with, I have the same question for both of you, all three of you. Everything begins with a dream, but there is a very vast difference between a dream and a vision. Dream is something that we keep within ourselves and if we feel good about it, and vision is something where which leads us to a lot of pain, where it is never final. One thing leads to the other, but that vision is way bigger than dream. It brings not only the pleasure but also the pains. So, if we may hear from you, Niluji, please start.
First of all, thank you for inviting me to the university. I'm so happy looking at your campus. So beautiful, so green, so vast. Um, all you guys, young boys and girls, you remind me of when I was 20 or 21, whatever that age was. And I have a question for all of you. How many of you are actually scared of what future holds for you? Raise your hand. Be honest and raise your hand. How many of you are scared at this point of time that I don't know what's going to happen with my life? Quite a few of you, right? And that includes me also, by the way. Even I'm still scared of what's going to happen, and I'm 55. Once upon a time, in a small city in Jabalpur, I was your age, and my university was not as renowned as yours, and I was scared. So it's perfectly normal to be scared, have dreams, and don't know what to do about it. Uh, in my time, I'm not sure if it's the same for the girls today. The other big scare was if you don't study well or if you don't perform well in academics, you will get married to somebody you don't even know. Is that still true? Not so much, right? Yeah. I think parents today are so much more wiser. I think I started my life with these two things. One, I did not want to end up in Jabalpur. So when you talk about dream, vision, ambition, I did not know any of that. I think I only lived with the fear that my life will go in a situation that I don't want to be. So as far as I remember, as a 21 to 24-year-old girl, I only had one thought that I'm going to say no to something that I don't want to do. I did not know what I wanted to do, but I definitely knew what I did not want to do. So my life actually started with that. And I think from then onwards, you start your small journey of vision, mission. There was this one day, there was a Times of India newspaper, and it had half a page ad saying Indian Air Force invites women to be their first time officers. Do you have it in you? I mean, I was 45 kgs of weight, not a 4G at all by the traditional words, and yet I applied for it. And I was a failure in math, and math was an entrance test for being a 4G, the SSB exam. So there was zero chance that I would have got through it, but I started walking the path. And that was my learning again. It does not matter how far you go on to the journey of defining your vision, mission, dream, whatever. I think important thing is to start walking on that path. And that's how my dreams, vision, mission, and everything emerged. Sorry if I gave you a wrong answer.
Vision, and your dream.
Even let me catch up with her words. Dream and vision. These are very different things, but they are leading to each other. Like she said, she comes from a small town. I came from a very big town like Kolkata. And I never thought that I will go to a tea state, a remote area in Assam that is also in Karbi Anglong, deep jungle, and I'll get married there. So there was no question of any dream at that time. When I was studying law in Calcutta, I had a dream to become a lawyer. But as she said, we don't know where we'll get married. We had no choice at that time. So we had been married by the family members to the tea planter here. And that was the first time I came to Assam, and that too, that remote area. So vision and dream at that time when I got married, I had only a simple thing: got married, got children, like a mother. But fate changes me. My husband expired at a very young age, and then because we are the fourth planter, fourth generation planter, and we have a legacy with us, so we never wanted to leave it. Then my dream started. Then I had a dream. He let me catch this one because the fate has brought me here to look after this legacy. From there, I got a dream. Then I saw, uh, I came in 2002. At that time, there were very few lady planters, were not at all a lady planter, you can say. All male dominated managers and owners were all they were looking at. But when I came and when I literally saw on the grassroots that we have 90% females working there. And their problem, no one understands much what we can understand. So they got very friendly with me, and then I really started living in tea garden, and I made it a dream. That dream led to me a visionary. We can change a lot of things here. So what I want to tell you young people, do have a dream, but do have an eye also what demands at the particular time of your life, what is important to you at that time. So you should not be disappointed that you had a dream and you could not do it. Like I had a dream to become a lawyer in Calcutta, but I could not do it. But whatever God gave me or whatever fate gave me, I just give my 100% to that. And that also make a dream and vision to me. Still I'm working very hard. I'm 70 plus now. But I walk 5 kilometers every day in my state. I work hard, and that gives me very much inspiration. I believe you all understand that hard work makes your dream come true always. You remember that. That I want to tell you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Neelu, you were talking about uh, what happens when you don't take a particular prescribed path, and that reminded me something very ridiculous from my childhood, and probably a lot of people from my age will relate to that. I have heard people saying that if you don't become a good person, and good person meant different things to different people. For my parents, it was good education. Others, many others, it meant good behavior, quiet obedience, and such stuff. So we have grown up hearing that if you don't become a good person, then no one will marry you. So half our life we kind of grew up deciding that we have to get married, so better be good. And then we realize that getting married means bringing such certain things that okay, sari milegi, jewelry milegi, uske baad kuch nahi milegi. And then that is when a reverse journey starts. Nilu, I would like to ask you about this because this is the reality of every person. I spoke about it in a very funny way because that is also a reality of our lives. But all those moments, because the place where you have reached is very high and you have walked the path by yourself, there was nobody who gave you that space. So while climbing up that space, what are some of the things that you were told which probably you have believed as true and then you had to unlearn? I ask this question mainly because unlearning is a very big
Yeah.
learning for young heads.
Yeah. So, first of all, good question, Kopal. Really good question. The one thing that I would say, today is, I think we are living in a very good world today. No matter, uh, ills of social media or many other negativities of today's world, let me tell you, the world today is is a good place specifically because I see the young generation as much more informed, much more balanced. Uh, the community living and everything is so much better than what I have witnessed in my life. And that gives a lot of learning, right? Uh, Naysayers you will always find in life. I find them even now. I mean, people might say that, okay, you've reached the ceiling. I don't feel that at all. I've never felt it, and I think I still have a long path to go. Uh, there were always times when people have said to me in my previous organization, I was about to interview for the position which was the highest position of my organization, the president of an American company, which was a $40 billion company, the India leader. And, my boss calls me and he says, Neelu, my suggestion is don't go for this interview. You're doing very well as the head of strategy. If you go there, you'll fail because you've never done business before and you're not an engineer. And that was an engineering company. So you won't be selected in all probability. And then you will get dejected and you will resign from the position that you're doing so well in. That is how I got started on starting to interview with that. So it's very hard to break that input, that has gone in your head through somebody. And I will just say one sentence about, specifically for women, I think it's true also for men. You get up early in the morning and you walk to the campus, and one girl says, "Oh my God, your hair is looking so awful today. Bad. Are you having a bad hair day?" Imagine what it does to your psyche then. You might go back to the room, probably shampoo and come back again, even if that's not true, right? The same thing might go for a boy as well. This color is looking really bad on you, one of your friends says in the morning. How confident you are of yourself that particular day, tell me. It really impacts your psyche. Now imagine these things happening with you in your professional world where you are told, you're not good at this, you can't do this. And for some reason, and it's not India, I think it's global, everywhere you go. So over a period of time, I have thought that I'm going to put a mute button in my head when people say you can't do this. So one option is you put the mute button on. And in my case, I not only put a mute button on, I become a little more volatile on just wanting to do that to prove. It's not a good quality because then maybe I didn't want to do it and yet I end up doing it. These are some of the thoughts. I think while you grow up to your mid-20s and late 20s, when you enter the corporate world or even choose the subjects, many times my son, my younger one, today is a data analytics, and he was told in his school that he can never study math, he can never study French, this and that. So I think human, we are very judgmental clan. You will not see animals judging each other. You will not see a cuckoo saying you are not a good singer and the other one is right, or a bird saying that I fly better than you. Nobody does that. I think out of all the living beings, human beings are very judgmental of each other. So I think at some point of time, you need to understand where they are coming from, the people who are judging you. So I've started becoming a bit of a psychology expert in that, and that helps. So, does it mean you need a lot of confidence in yourself? Does it mean that you need to be super intelligent or anything? I think no. I think it's just the analytical self and what you want to it. And again, I keep saying this again and again. Just start walking on the path that you want your life to go. You will never get success in 1 day or 2 day or 1 year or 2 years. Whether it's the best, dancer, the best runner, the best swimmer. Read anybody's story. Michael Phelps. These are not people. David Beckham. They were not made in a day. These are, hours and millions of hours of sweat that comes out. So make yourself deaf and believe in perfection and go for it.
Thank you so much, Neelu. That was such brilliant advice, especially for the youngsters and also for us. I have just the opposite question to what I asked Neelu. 4 generations into tea estate, running a tea estate, you entered a space that had already been somewhere, been there for a long time, and you came from outside, and you had huge shoes to use for the days to come. And that's a great responsibility, great pressure, even scary. Because when I start from scratch, I know that whatever it is becomes my identity. You already had your identity, and now you have to break taller to reach there. How was
It's
that?
a very, very vital question you asked me, and I really appreciate it. I must tell you something which is male dominated for decades. And when I came, I think I was the first tea planter, as I said, on the grassroots level, or that is also an owner. At that time, owners were a high profile, the managers were looking after the garden, and we were not supposed to go on the field, we were not supposed to talk to the laborers. All the things managers being done. We are sitting in the bungalow and just doing like being the wife also, we are just like that. When I came to garden, the very first day, they just neglected me as on a fear that who will feed them? A lady, she cannot run the garden. And they did not accept me for a few days, you can say. I had to make them believe that no, I'm educated because at that time education was also a question in Assam. Nowadays it's lovely that I can see lots of people are reading, writing and doing everything. So I had to convince them, yeah, what a lady can do. And that is only come from a your study and yourself. So do have a confidence in whatever you do. God is always there with you. And what I did only with the confidence that I can do it. I can do it, and that my belief made them believe in the lockout and but when it came to like a normalized, and after that till now, then one thing also I faced by at that time, I saw lots of pesticide being used in the tea garden, and that too, that's huge, you can say now. When we are sitting for the breakfast, we can smell the pesticide in our breakfast. And then I saw it's a ecological, they are damaging so much that we have lost lots of pieces of insects and all those things that we cannot find it now. But we saw about 45 years back in tea state, the insects we did not see nowadays at all. We have lost ecological balance at all, you can say. So my dream came at that time to turn a tea garden in a organic way. And that was also a pioneer at that time because maintaining a huge tea garden with organic, it was also a no-no at that time for the industry people. Then one thing came in my mind, ma'am is from mythology, and I have also got a passion for it. So I always thought that we Indians do farm for you can say about 5,000 years, 6,000 years. Where was the pesticide at that time? And all pesticide level had American or these companies are marketing to us. There were no Indian companies at that time in the Indian market for the pesticides. It came to my mind that they are marketing with us, they are enjoying their capital from us, and they are disturbing us with lots of pest dying, lots of disease and all. That then became a dream for making organic solutions. And I started making organic solutions, learning from my own laborers who hail from deep jungles of Odisha and Jharkhand. They are all maximum you can say are from Jharkhand, Odisha. Then I learned from them the traditional way of making organic solutions. Then I found we get everything in our own tea state. So it became a very cost effective to me also. And the solution made a wonder. At that time, not like except one garden, Hatikuli in Tata, no garden was using any organic solution. Now that dream has come up nowadays. It has like everybody is using the word organic nowadays. So what I want to tell, कि when you start anything from the grassroots with your own confidence, with your education behind you can win the world. That I want to tell you always. Because leading a main dominated industry with 500 laborers is not a joke at all. And make everyone understand. Because when you're leading with a mass, there are few people always who are against you for something or the other. To take them in confidence is also very important thing in any industry. That is the thing. So listen to your soul. You will succeed. That is my blessings to you all, I can say.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am has raised a very interesting space of conversations, which is very much circulating in every kind of forum today. That is ecology, and as you said, mythology, which is my working on. When I started writing, I realized that there are various elements of nature in Indian mythology is considered God. Surya, Chandra, Vayu, Ganga, all various versions of God. So anybody who is working against God is the demon. And from there, let me come to Neelu, leading Akasa Airlines. Neelu, how do you respond to the ecological needs? Because you are operating, as you call yourself, Akasa, the brand that you are leading. It's so beautifully aligned with the job that, the service that it is providing. How does that ecological surveillance or ecological standing appear in your business? Because I see your business as a construction, as a few people coming together to engineer it, a few people coming together to service the end customers, and maybe a few who are doing business so that the backward and forward integrations, so that the flow is in place, there's a circuit completed. How does ecological balance feature in your business, and how do you address the problems that come from it?
So I think running an airline is one of the most complicated business I have seen. I call it like a million piece orchestra, right? So you every note, every step has to fall in place exactly at the right time, for the plane to land on time, 35 minutes it needs to turn around, the pilot has to be proper rested within the norms, the fuel has to be perfect, the cabin crew, the food, the, literally everything has to be perfect. So it's a highly complicated, highly structured and highly regulated also as an industry. It's government, regulated work as well. So I will tell you a few fun facts about this industry first. Uh, do you know which country has the highest amount of female pilots in the world? Anybody? Any guesses? Any guesses? Which country has the highest amount of female pilots in the world? It's India. And it's so surprising, right? So we have, yeah, 15% of women pilots in India. Rest of the countries are all below 10, 11, 9, 8. That is one. So I think what works for India, and I'm digressing from that topic, that I feel very proud of the fact that there is so much of female participation, especially for the pilots. But what goes well in India for this industry, and I think it's true for other industries too, but specifically for this, is you have young talent who are engineers, who are accountants, who are HR specialists, lawyers, and all of that. So I think India is at a time wherein the country has a very big population of middle class. Let me give you a very good statistics. You know what is the population of India? 140 CR, right? So out of 140 CR, take away 40 or 50%, which is below poverty line. I'm just putting a high number. I know it's not as high. But take away that, you still left with about 90 CR, which is, low middle class, high middle class, and rich people, right? Now imagine if all of these people start to go from place A to B, because as you progress, your disposable income rises, your need to travel rises, and all of that happens. So once you start doing that, that's when the countries start progressing. So a progressive country would also mean that there is a flourishing airline industry. So any country which is not doing well will not have a very flourishing airline industry. The fact that in India this is happening in a very big way is also indicative of the growth of the country. And I think, digressing from that particular question, and I want to share my enthusiasm from where I am today in my life to showcase the vision that I see for our country. Each one of us should be extremely enthusiastic of our country that we are living in. At the stage where we are in, there are bankers, there are people who will give you loans. Raising money is not difficult. Getting business plans made is not tough. The opportunity is there. The import opportunity, the export opportunity, the talent is there. So I think any one of you sitting here today and listening, even if you have the smallest vision of creating something, go for it, because the time is now. Was this time available about 30 years back? I would say no. Will this time be available 15, 20 years later? Somebody else, and then that opportunity would have gone. So in the next 10 to 15 years, irrespective of the political scenario, irrespective of anything that's going on in your family, irrespective of any other socio-economic political situation, the entire country is really ripe with the possibility of becoming the second or third largest economy in any other industry that you can think of. So I feel very energetic. I mean, I've recently stepped out of Akasa because there are thoughts in my mind that I want to work on. And I thought there's only one life. I've done this, I've done that, I've done that. And there are probably a couple of other things that I want to do before I hit the bucket list or retire or die or stay in a coffin. And I'm going to do that. So So at my age, if I'm feeling so enthusiastic about the opportunities, boys and girls, you should go for it.
Thank you so much, Needu. Such a lovely answer. Ma'am, coming to you, uh, I was just listening to Needu and I was thinking that she comes from a space where she leads from an urban space. She is in a metropolitan. So a lot of things, there are civil codes. There are civic and civil codes which are governing us in bigger cities comparatively. But when it comes to the very grassroots, uh, a person जिसका घर बारिश में बह गया, उसके लिए what is good behavior, what is bad behavior, how to have tea, when to go, and दरवाजा खोलते वक्त नॉक करना और कम इन बोल के अंदर आना doesn't matter. They are living very basic lives and they are far more probably expressive without that cover of yes, yeah, any kind of yeah, any kind of cover that tries to put them into a socially acceptable behavior. And you are dealing with the kind of people who are.
I must appreciate your uh, I must appreciate your skill for this because I can compare both the lives. I come from a very civilized, urbanized, and fashionable and a high profile family, you can say. But I had to work with the lowest profile people, and I must thank God that the money or the position it never drawn to my height, and I worked with them. तो अब उनके साथ बरसात में भीगते हैं, रबड़ की चप्पल पहन के बागान में घूमते हैं, हवाई चप्पल पहनते हैं. तो आई डोंट फाइंड एनीथिंग रॉन्ग इन दैट एंड आई फील हैप्पी टू वर्क विद देम. क्योंकि आप जहाँ जिनके साथ जाते हो आप उनके साथ ही काम कर सकते हो हमेशा. आप उनसे अलग होकर कभी भी आपका अपना ड्रीम कभी भी नहीं सही होगा. दैट इज वेरी ट्रू. With whatever field is there, whatever is like when I'm in university, I have to behave like a educated girl or educated lady and behavior should be different. आप अपने दोस्तों के साथ जाते तो आपका बिहेव डिफरेंट होता है. सेम थिंग आपका वर्क प्लेस पे भी है. Wherever you are, you have to be with them. You don't feel you are different from them. And when you have to make them work honestly, we have to be among them only. Like now, I tell you very interesting thing. About 42, 43 years back, there were no electricity in the garden. We had only like when our factory is on, we had generators and a very dim light or something. So when I got married and I first came, I just told my helper, "अरे light जला दो." And she got so fear to touch the switch. No, 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 I won't touch. Jal jayega and all these things. That was the first incident I never forget. How much different life we are having. Those people are deprived of so much of things. And that deprived they, what they had been deprived, I wanted to fulfill that for them. That became my dream at that time. कि हम इतने सिविलाइज हम बाहर की दुनिया इतनी अच्छी are working since morning to evening and they don't know how to put on a switch. They don't know what is a light. Their children, they do not know what is a, like we had a school in the garden, but outside world, they did not know what is an education for them. So what question you were asking, there was a difference in two lives. Try to maintain it as much as possible for me. So now I see them, they got TV and now they are coming up to our school now. They can speak Hindi now. Uh, they are acquainted with the world also. They have a media, they have a telephone, and this mobile phone, every hand is hearing now. So the life has changed a lot nowadays. So now we don't have that much of difficulty to work with them. At that time we had it. So I try to maintain that life with them.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Once again, a common question for both of you. Uh, Coming to the stage where I stand now, I realized that money, success, failures, these are very, very exclusive terms. It's not that when you make a lot of money, it means success. There are times when you have tried and you have lost and you are not successful and money is not there, and yet you feel that pride of trying because you really wanted to do it, and now you know the grid that where what went wrong, where you did not, and in the process maybe you retain the interest in going ahead or you drop it, but then you really loved it. I want to ask both of you about the kind of moments when maybe you had a success or a failure, and probably with the kids, maybe I really want to say this, that when I was growing up, I thought that making money is success and not making money is failure. Nikamma means for kamata nahi. And that had nothing to do with life as a whole. The quality of life as a whole did not matter. A person could be a really bad person, but he is making money means he's a successful person. And that, thankfully, we have reached a particular stage in society where we are constantly conversing about those things and agreeing to the fact that a rich person is not necessarily a good person and a rich person is not necessarily a successful person. So, from that perspective, your understanding of success and failure, and if you are willing, I would love if you tell the kids some of the moments of failures that were very inspiring for both of you.
So, how many of you have heard this song from Jagjeet Singh, which says, "Ye daulat bhi le lo, ye shohrat bhi le lo, भले छीन लो मुझसे मेरी जवानी मगर मुझको लौटा दो बचपन का वो." Right? All of us, and it's such a beautifully resonating song. It doesn't matter. Success, failure, money, no money will come to you. This time that you're living in the campus with your friends, today, after this lecture or this speech or whatever, or during that, go hug your friends. These people will not come back in your life in the manner that they are today. Value the relationships that you have with these roads, these trees, these cafeteria. I would love to go back to the college cafeteria today, 30, 40 years later, and probably be able to eat the same samosa. I would not cherish it that much, that we did at that point of time. That 1 rupee or a 2 rupee in my time was such a beautiful thing. So I think it's not about money making you a good human being or not. I think it's cherishing these innocent, beautiful, unconditional relationship time that you have in this part of life. So while I know there are a lot of fears, you are in a big hurry to grow up and make money and do this for your family, for yourself, stop, take a breath, I would say idealize these moments, cherish this. In life, your values and goals will make you more rich or poor than money or no money. People having higher values, at the end of the day, are you leaving a world which is going to be better for your children, for the next generation, is what is more important. At some point of time, I'm scared of the world that's going to come in 4 or 5 years. How many of you have heard Elon Musk saying human beings will become redundant and AI will take over? Right? It's scary. I know Elon Musk is a crazy guy, but at the same time, he might be right. We don't know what's going to happen. There is something that's much bigger than the human intelligence that's coming up. So at this point of time, having those core values is more important than money. And that is what I would teach my children. I would teach my family, that's what I live by. empathy for each other. Do not degrade each other. Ragging or putting negative thoughts into different people and stuff is a lowly thing. And I think I like that with the new generation today, because for me, I always say that me and my family and my friends, we need to be the biggest cheerleaders of ourselves. I remember this one small incident, and I'll tell you. We went out on some public place, some fair or something. There was one guy who just probably walked by me. I'm talking about 15 years back. He walked by me and he probably hit me somewhere like this and went. Now that was not called for, right? Harassment. And instinctively, I'm a Fauji, I'm an ex-retired wing commander. He doesn't know who I am. He thought कोई लड़की जा रही है मार के चले जाओ, you know. So मैंने जाके उसका गला पकड़ लिया. I held him like this and I started beating. I had 2 or 3 friends of me. So they come and they start hitting him also. And then मारते मारते पूछ रहे नीलू हम इसको क्यों मार रहे हैं? So that is value. That's what your tribe should be. Believe in each other so much. Stand by each other's values so much. Be each other cheerleaders, because in life, what you need the most is cheerleaders for yourself. To say, hey, Kopal, I think you can do it. Imagine if I go and say that to her in the morning versus saying, hey, your hair is looking so bad, right? Imagine what it does to your psyche. So lift each other up, so be the support system to each other. This is more valuable than money.
Even I imagine myself. As mom said, money is very important. There's no two things in it. But money is not everything. And if we work with a goal to earn money, we might fail. So you chase your dream, work hard, money will flow itself to you. Always remember that. So your goal should be your work and your dream. Money is what? We require money day to day. Isn't it? That is a must for us. So if our pocket does not allow, we can restrict the money to our only needs which our parents can fulfill. But very honestly, we can spend it. But still, you can chase your dream for that. Work on that. My advice to you all, that you people have got a lot of opportunity to earn nowadays, which we never had. And money, we face a lot of time when we did not have money to give the wages. Lots of time we have paid. Sometimes it may be industry failure, or sometimes it's something out the calamity. Like this year, we are not having rain for last 4 months. So naturally, we are going to face a loss this year. We are predicting it that we might get a loss this year due to crop. So we are not fearful for that. It's not our goal. Always chase your goal. Money is very important. We should not devalue it. And as मैम said कि पहले के ज़माने में लोग बोलते पैसा है तो सक्सेस है. आज भी यही बात है. आपके पास पैसा है तो कहीं ना कहीं आप सक्सेस हो. लोग कहीं ना कहीं आपको कम देखेंगे. इसमें भी कोई गलत नहीं है. बट 90% जो है अपनी सोच ही अपने बदल सकते हैं आज के दिन. Your friend can value you for your intellect, for your working, for your support, whether you have money or not in your pocket. So always believe in yourself. Only believe in yourself. Chase your dream. Whatever you had or your parents want you to do, be happy always. For money, you never think become a sad कि we don't have money, or I have a failure, or I have worked so hard, I did not get the money. Not this year, next year, or maybe next year, or maybe some other thing God may help you. But you will still chase your dream, your work, you will definitely have a success in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes. You were talking about Elon Musk, and I think that he's a completely crazy fellow. But uh, I have, when Elon Musk says something weird, it doesn't shock me any longer. That kind of a personality is meant to say weird things. Uh, he once said something very interesting and nice, and I was quite shocked that it came from Elon Musk. And he was asked that if you could change something about your journey, what would you change? And this guy had said that while hiring, I would have picked up the people with good nature, better ethics, instead of picking up the most talented people. And I was very shocked that it came from someone like Elon Musk. And it got me thinking actually. And I'll present this, it's kind of a case study. I'll present this before both of you. Um, if there is a situation where a business needs someone at a critical space, uh, and there are two candidates, one is takes a lot of time to learn but learns really well, takes time, and the decisions are well informed. And on the other hand, there is this guy who is very talented, who is quick to pick up. He has that skill, he is fast, and he looks at immediate returns. I do this immediately, something gets plugged, some returns come, and the business is in profit. Now, chances are, for all of us, being the humans that we are, we will go for the second guy and we will not go for the first guy. No, that may not be your case. That's what I was coming to. That the tendency of most humans is to go for this guy who gives immediate results. And this is something that the West has done again and again and again, done things that have given quick fixes, immediate solutions for a problem that has come, and destroyed a lot in the long run. Now, standing where we are today, how do you look at, you have already spoken about hiring, though the hiring was not the question then. I'm coming here, I'm bringing you to this part of the business survival, where I would like to know that how do you strike the balance between talent and sincerity?
So I think now we have a lot of these psychometric tests that most companies use for hiring. But I will just share my own experience. I think at this stage in my life, I have always gone for resilience. So people who are resilient are people who are successful. I mean, time and again, you will find that as an example. So anybody who goes like this or like that are not, personalities that are desirable, not even in your personal life, right? You don't need to be melodramatic, one day high, one day low, which I think all of us are to a certain extent. But with age and with grace, you kind of mature and you learn that no kind of highs and lows are good. The important part is that anybody who can be a steady performer is what I would have always picked up in my teams.
I will just repeat the question for you. How to strike the balance between talent and sincerity?
Sincerity, both are required, but sincerity is probably more long run, and immediate quick fix is more short term. That is my hypothesis, of course, yours to come.
Believe that sincerity, honesty, the morality that we hold as individuals is of the utmost importance. And the moment we live by it, feeling it truly within anything that we give into, we would imbibe it within no time. And the talent itself, very soon, it may take maybe a week more, but not more than that. Because every human brain is very intelligent. We just need to focus correctly. And when we have a foundation which is very strong, which I've always learned and I believe in myself, I feel that any any task in front of you, any goal in front of you, any vision that we hold, you will accomplish it. And you would do it so well that everybody would soon believe in you. So the moment we believe in ourselves on that foundation, I think everything falls in place.
So I think Pooja, Madhu ma'am, Neelu, all of us, and me included, all of us probably agree to the fact that anything that we do, maybe me writing books, you doing your work, your entrepreneurship, or your business, it is kind of an extended motherhood where we are nurturing and caring and going mad after them, but we cannot put them out of our brains. It's our baby, all of us. So I now give it to the audience in case you have any questions. This is your moment. Please ask. Two very erudite uh, business people in front of you. So take this moment for yourselves.
So my question is for Nilu ma'am. As we know that the fear of failure is very dominant in our lives. So can you please give us a advice that how can we overcome the fear of failure in our lives?
A good question, first of all. And I will tell a little story, and I need attention of you guys, towards this small story that I'll tell. So, and this is a story I read some time back, and I was extremely impressed by the learnings that I got. And I take a lot of inspiration from this. So, there are two little kids in a village. Please sit down. And these little children are playing, around in the well. गांव का एक कुआं है और वहां जाके खेल रहे हैं, which is a little away from where they live. And while they are playing, one kid is a very fat child, and the other child, which is a same age, 5 or 6 year old, is a very thin child. And they're best friends, the bestest of people at the age of 6 or 7 that anybody can be. So while they're playing, the heavier guy falls in the well. And now this little scrawny kid doesn't know what to do. So he's running around, looking for somebody. He can't because the village is far away. And then he can't understand what's happening. And then suddenly he sees this little rope that is staying somewhere, put somewhere, discarded rope, and probably a bucket. So he throws it because that's the only thing he can think of. And somehow this boy catches it while drowning. And, they both put their entire might in that exercise. And after some struggle, this boy comes out. They're shaken up, they're crying, they're both okay. And they walk completely wet back to the village at their house. And they tell the story to their parents. And the parents and the rest of the villagers, they think, फालतू बोल रहे हैं, झूठ बोल रहे हैं, ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. अगर ये गिरा होता, this boy could not have saved. Just look at the sizes and the heavy weight. So they are trashed, and these kids cry more. So no, this happened. Then they're taken to the sarpanch, older guy, much wiser. He said, "Let's go and speak to the sarpanch." So they speak, and the sarpanch listens to their story. And then this guy says, he's telling the truth. He said, "How do you know?" So he says, इस बच्चे को किसी ने बताया नहीं कि उसका लिमिटेशन क्या है, कि वो पतला है और वो मोटा है और तुम उसको नहीं खींच सकते. So nobody had instilled that fear of defining limitations to say this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. So how does fear come, right? Fear comes in when somebody, either it's you yourself or my upbringing or some family conditioning or the societal conditioning has told you that this is not possible, right? And that's where that little kid who's 6-year-old, very thin, has not been told कि तुम इतना weight उठा ही नहीं सकते, right? So anytime you are fearful, think of where the fear is coming from. Is it the failure or is it the guilt that you will find of failure? को तो rejoice करना चाहिए यार. वापस आके बोलो वो गाना नहीं था वो ब्रेकअप हो गया सॉन्ग. What was that song? ब्रेकअप हो गया. हाँ सुबह उठ के मैंने समथिंग ब्रेकअप कर दिया. Breakup is to be enjoyed. Divorces are to be celebrated. Fear of businesses going down should be celebrated. So please celebrate each and every of your fear. And I think from the fear comes a very, very serious topic, which is mind wellness, mental wellness. Never underestimate somebody's fear because they come from a genuine fear of whatever their experience or their family. Like there are times in my life I have, got my boys and we've slept in a car. I know what it means to not have a house and sleep. So that's a genuine fear because it came from a real experience. So never, I would say, make fun of somebody's fear. Have your own fear, put it in a piece of paper. What I do is I put everything in a piece of paper and I say, okay, break it down into certain real, theories and certain practical things and then face it. Did I answer that?
And about fear, could I say something? A very interesting thing I want you all to listen. It's very interesting. Though I had a very good educational background, but my husband died suddenly and I got very, very fearful. What will happen to me? What will happen to my life? My children, she was only 10 years old, like small children. And I was full of fear, full of fear. I did not know what to do. I'm talking about my mother. She got married at a very early stage. She was not educated, nothing. But she told me only one thing. कि बेटा ये समझो कि तुम कोई सिनेमा हॉल में गई थी, कोई पिक्चर देखने गई थी, तुम्हारा पिक्चर का सीन बदल गया. नाउ योर हस्बैंड इज नॉट देयर, तो तुम ये सोचो सीन बदल गया एंड स्टॉप क्राइंग. Imagine only 2 hours back, only 2 hours, my husband has expired. After 2 hours, my mother teaching me this, and she's not educated. This is but such a huge thing. I wish I'll never forget, my children will never forget, and I wish you people also will forget this. So life goes on. Second thing, my grandmother at that time took me to the temple, and she showed me कि तुम देखो औरतें क्या नहीं कर सकती. We never thought in that concept. We go to puja room, we do every puja and every day worship. What my grandmother had a concept of worshipping in puja room. She told me, तुम देखो तो किसी के भी पर्दा है क्या? दुर्गा है, लक्ष्मी है, सरस्वती है, इनके क्या पर्दा है? हम तो पूछते हैं शक्ति को है. So what is there in fear? Don't fear. Go and do your business. Go to garden. Look after them. Now this is your duty. And I tell you that only 2 sentences changed my whole life. So fear, don't ever fear. कोई word ही नहीं है लाइफ में. सोचो आप लोग. Failure हो, success हो, take it as it is.
Yeah, this thing came right at the end. We should have spent a little more time on this. But ma'am, you said something which just sparked something that I just want to talk about it. That is the advice that you are getting from someone uneducated. And I have seen in my life that some of the best advice comes from people who are not educated in terms of academic degree. Yeah,
That is why I gave the example, particularly to the not ladies, the boys also, for everybody. So you are our future generations, and India is going like up sky. और हमारे अंदर बचपन से ये डाला गया है कि हमें सिर्फ शादी करनी है, बच्चा करना है, फैमिली करनी है. लेकिन हम लोगों के टाइम में तो यही था. यू पीपल आर नॉट दैट. उस फियर को उस समय निकालना. And just after 2 hours, she was only 10 years old at that time, and हम कलकत्ता रहते हैं, हमें आसाम का कुछ एबीसीडी भी नहीं पता. At that time, she was telling me कि पर्दा बदल गया, सिनेमा देख रही थी. It's not a joke, ma'am. It's not a joke. My mother, she's not educated, and my grandmother, she was must be 70 plus or something at that time. She is telling me that कि दुर्गा जी को देखो. आज हमको ऐसा लग रहा है कि you people must not thinking about all this. हम लोग को देखा ही नहीं जिंदगी को. Be happy, be confident. बस यही ऐसे जिंदगी का.
Is there a question? Did someone raise hand? No. So I really wanted to end this on this note that there are lots of people with academic degrees. और उनको डिग्रीधारी बोल सकते हो, educated बोलना जरूरी नहीं है. Not many people who have academic degrees are actually educated, and there are lots of people who don't have those academic degrees. They can give you the lessons of a lifetime. So don't judge people when they come to you and teach you certain lessons. Just take that lesson. Thank you so much.
So, as we have come close session, we are reminded of something yet simple, very profound, which is that every sky we admire was once a distant horizon. Every institution we celebrated was once a fragile idea, and every leader was applauded, was stood at the grassroots of uncertainty. So today's dialogue has shown us that resilience build foundation, discipline, strengthens discipline strengthens journey, and courage propels us forward from grassroots determination to boundless ambition. These remarkable women have shown us that the sky is not the limit, it is simply the next horizon. So on the behalf of organizing committee and Divuga University International Literature Festival, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the strong ladies over here for having such an enlightening session with us. I hope this session basically inspire deeper discussion tomorrow. So in the near future. So, and I would also like to thank our rapporteurs of today's event, Aparna and Nilakshi, for rapporteuring it successfully. So, and at the same time, thank you to our wonderful audience for being such a thoughtful listener, and have a good day. Thank you.